Hi, Alex. Long time no speak. Alex from Scale Swimming with me in this chat. How are you?
I'm all right, Marcus. Are you keeping well?
Good. I'm very well. Let's talk swimming today. And again, this is another video which we had last time, and it's again maybe busting myths or not. In my other video, which I have with Jan Wolfgarten, I spoke about myths in swimming and how to bust them and revisit them, and so sort of talk about it. That it's out in the open. Funny enough, still people are asking me, and I want to make this very clear, and even get a second opinion from another person, not as a second opinion, but as I said, just to make it more clear to people how it really is. We did it already, fingers open, closed. Now we go into the one which is also there is hand entry, splashing when entering the water with your hands, and bubbles around your hand when swimming. And the myth there, or the topic, or the what was said, commented on my Instagram account a lot, and still a lot, is, oh, you're splashing in front of it, that is not good, you should do it without splashing and whatsoever. And the other thing is, oh, you're doing so well, you're so fast because you don't have bubbles around your hands. Let's for this time, I will tell you what I think about it, and you can jump in on that and say something. So for the first one, the hand entry, as it is with the hands, fingers open, closed, it's a natural movement. You cannot really not splash at all. You can splash little or long. It depends also on your technique, and it depends on the distance. I don't agree with taking this as a general thing or general key part of technique, like kicks, having the right arm movement on the water, or coordination and timing, which are main pillars of a freestyle technique. I think hand entry depends on it's a very individual thing. Some splash more, some splash less. Tom Dolan, I brought it up in another call many times. Tom Dolan would splash a lot. Very fast man, very fast freestyler. Was already also below on 200 meter below 150. Won the Olympic medal in medley in Sydney. We talk about that. Splashing a lot. Me depends on how fast I go. I splash very little when I swim very easy and having a certain flow. On a longer distance, you splash less. On longer distance, you have hybrid style. You splash a bit more. You can't really say that. So I think for me, it really depends on the technique there. It's not said that you need to have soft. And in general, it's a counter movement for me anyway. It's action versus reaction. If you enter the hand, you want to grab to the front, and there you have a slowing down moment, and then push faster backwards. You get faster towards the end, and that needs to have a counterbalance at the end, hand entry at the front when you do exactly that. So it's a counter action to what you do on the other side. This is what I have. So for the hand entry and splashing, what is your take on that?
Yeah, good one. Okay, so our thoughts align on that, which is good. But that's usual, right? So it depends on the distance that you're swimming. We've just had the World Championships in Japan, and you can have a look at some of the sprint freestylers. They're big bodies, big units, really powerful swimmers, and you see a lot of those these days with a straight arm freestyle. So let's just use Ben Proud as an example. He's always right up there in the medals, been world champion and so on and so forth before. Straight arm freestyle. So there's a little bit of splash, but he's got so much power, and his technique is perfect for that type of event. If you're swimming a longer distance, you're going to want to try and be a little bit more efficient. So you're going to want to try and create not as much splash, and you're going to want to try and pierce the water. And I mean, the stroke's going to be a lot longer as it is anyway. It's not going to be a really quick, powerful, 20, 21 seconds or so. You're going to be swimming for a lot longer. So it's all about efficiencies the longer that you swim. But one of the really important things to remember is there's no right or wrong way. Okay, so We look at, let's use running as an example. You have to put one foot in front of the other, and you have to pump your arms forward and backwards. Like, that's the basics. Mm-hmm. But there are so many styles out there. Everybody looks different. Okay, so let's go back in time and look at Michael Johnson when he runs. He used to run bolt upright. Not many people would run like that, but it worked for him. And so what you've got to think about in the pool and when you're swimming and when you're entering, everybody's arm lengths are different. The physiology is different. Nobody's the same unless you're an identical twin, but everybody's different. So you can't say exactly how to do something. It's whatever is natural to you. We bang on and we probably sound the same in nearly every video, but it's the more natural you are in the water, the faster you will become. Agree or not?
I agree. I like what you said, and I wouldn't add too much to it. I like about the physiology, and we are different. I do believe there is things, and this is misconception by a lot of coaches as well, even how they coach and people who think that this is thingy. So, as I said, you said it right with the running. There are certain things which you need to have, as I said, the kick, proper body rotation, shoulder rotation, and head movement needs to be in line. And you need to have some sort of a grab on the water early on, like an early catch. I need to have it. If it's a high elbow catch or if it's straight arm catch, it all starts at the front and goes back, and your hand never loses some sort of pressure. And these are main things. And these are main things for everyone. Now, again, physiology, you brought Michael Johnson. I go further towards the pool and I say Michael Phelps, his anatomy is perfect for swimming. It's made for swimming, and this was his ability. Even if he would swim now and have his prime now, he would be, in my opinion, ahead of Leo Marshall, which is has a less good anatomy from the physiology, how you look at it, as Michael Phelps. It's different. He's leaner, he's smaller, he's tall, but he's leaner than Michael Phelps, which has more a V shape, but it's more like a what's this called? Stingray. It's like that. He's more like that. But from the physiology anatomy, he's more balanced. Again, as you said, physiology and individualism plays a big role in that. So yes, coaches out there and swimmers who have coaches, there are main things which you need to be able to do. Splashing hand entry is not one of them. It is simply not one of them because it has different varieties. Physiology, distance you want to swim, training, you can't say one. I have three different techniques. I have a sprint technique, I have a middle distance technique, and I have a long distance technique. They look so different, and you can't really say. Even on a sprint, I do a straight arm above the water and underneath the water as well. I do it, and there is. So I have three techniques. It all connects in the main pillars. So this is maybe from me, and I need to do another videos on YouTube and Instagram where I actually show all the three techniques. I have done it already before. People couldn't believe it. It got some traction, but they say, "Oh, you can't compare it." No. Yes, you can. I mean, it's really, really possible.
Actually, I have four techniques. So I have the sprint, I have the middle distance, I have the long distance, and then I have the windmill when I'm absolutely shattered. And the windmill is what we don't want. So actually, picking up on what you said, the only one that you don't want to do is the windmill technique. And what I mean by that is that's when you slug your arms over, and that's what you don't want to do. That's the one hand entry or technique that you must never do. Because if you're swinging your arms over, you are going to splash loads of water. That's all resistance. So we talk about there's no kind of right way or wrong way in the hand entry. As long as you're piercing I think one important thing for middle distance and long distance is that hand glide where you reach forward. Yeah. So, linking back to one of your videos, it's rotating on that central axis because you need to get your distance per stroke.
It is, yeah.
I think that's the really important thing. So the only thing to say is, I quite often, sometimes there will be master swimmers or triathletes that I can hear when they're tired, splash, 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 because they're just throwing their arms over like that, and there's too much resistance.
True.
So that's the only thing I would try to avoid.
Well, the thing is, yeah, a good thing that you pointed out. The windmill maybe confused people about sprinting, because the difference between the windmill and the sprinting is the windmill will always go. You just bring the arms to the front because your arms are tired. You don't care about the end of it, but also then your arm stroke gets shorter. With the sprinting one is, yes, they splash in as well, but they have the aim to, as fast as possible, get to the front and grab the water as they can to grab it, to have the end solution to push back that water. So they grab it, and the faster way is to swing it over your head instead of having that nice high elbow there, because that might be good for the efficiency, but for speed, the swing would be a bit better. So we talk about windmill, being tired arms, and just like get it to the front. Somehow it needs to get out of the water, and having the windmill. I think there we can agree. So this is the four. Yeah, I get that. I thought more about like being flat in water and not swim at all anymore, and just let the water do its magic and push you further as the fourth style when you're super tired. But yeah, I like that one, just the swimming to the front.
You know, just so people can visualize as well, I would say the difference between like a sprint straight arm and a really tired windmill is a sprint straight arm will be, you know, almost vertical. They come over the top, right? Whereas a windmill, tired windmill, will be a slug, almost parallel to the surface of the water. Yeah. So that would be the difference. And because it's parallel to the surface, once it comes in, you've got all of this lever that's going to splash a ton of water, which is basically pushing you backward, but in the wrong direction. True. So that's one of kind of the key differences.
True again. Yeah, I think we talked about this now as well, and I think yeah, we are good in that. The last one which I had, which goes in line with the hand entry, again, it's very individual. Now we keep it in that call. Again, I don't want to lose too many words again on it. Is the bubbles around your hands? It has something to do with the hand entry. I agree. But it's not said that less splash, less bubbles around your hand. You can splash a lot and not have any bubbles around your fingers or your hands when you do the pull on the water. There, the myth would be the less bubbles you have, the faster you can swim, or the more resistance you have. Yes, in terms of logics, it can make sense that you say, you know, pushing air and water is you sort of go into, it's not efficient as if you just have water and push it back. That can be logic, but it doesn't really make sense to train that you have no bubbles around your hands. For me, it's something which came over time. So when I was young, I had a lot of bubbles as well, but also the technique was not as advanced as it was now. It was more about torque, about speed, about fast kicks and whatsoever. And more time, you got more efficient, more you took more care of how you do the things for your own body and how you adjust your technique. And with that, I lost the bubbles. But going in for a beginner or for a medium level swimmer, to think and the coach telling them or to think, if I lose the bubbles, then I'm getting faster, or I'm trying to lose that, I bet you will destroy more than you did well with it. I think that is just my take on that one.
Yeah, do you know, I'm going to agree. Just don't even think about it. No. Like, there are so many other aspects and areas for you to focus on to get you faster through the water than thinking about whether you've got bubbles around your fingers or not. Yeah. That's my take-home point. Don't even bother thinking about it.
I would agree with you, and keep it that way. Don't think about bubbles, because there's so much more things which you need to change in order to be efficient and good at swimming freestyle. By the time you have corrected all of that, trust me, the bubbles will be gone anyway.
Yeah,
I believe that will be the saying.
Yeah, there you go. Bubbles gone.
Bubbles gone. So thanks a lot for a very, very important call again. We had the splashing when entering the water and actually the bubbles. We conclude with that these are things which leave it to later. Leave it to see how your training goes and how you develop your technique on the main things you need to do and to focus at, which we had in other calls. And if you don't know the main things, just comment down below in the comments or in the comments in general, and or shoot us a DM on our Instagram accounts, Scale Swimming and Marcus Martel, to know more about it, or tell us what you want to hear more about it. Again, hand entries and making splash noises and bubbles are really not the main thing to focus at, because you will destroy much more things. It will come naturally, and it's not an indicator whether someone is fast or not. I would that would be my conclusion to it.
That's well concluded, Marcus. Very good.
Thank you so much for today, and that was Let's Talk Swimming.
Till next time.
See you next time.